podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Welcome to Scarlet's Fever, the home of Suspan Central and Westerer is Besterer.
Hello and welcome to this week's Scarlet's Fever with me, Lee G, and joining me as always, the awesome duo of Catboy and Big M. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, how are we?
Evening, welcome back to the Welsh Rugby Piss Boiling podcast.
So mine's got a new headset, and it's the same headset as mine, and we were just comparing how good fart noises sound through the headset.
Mine's better, obviously.
I just think this is what grown men do when you give them boys' toys, and we should be proud of the fact that that's what we do. So, yeah. Other than your new headset, Matt, what interesting things have we been up to this week, gents?
Well, personally, I've been rekindling some of my youth. Friday night, went up to watch the Blackout. All in. If you don't know who the Blackout are, they're this nice little band from Merthyr Tydfil. First time they've toured in 9 years. 5 dates. If you weren't there, you've lost it forever. Slam Dunk now in the summer is the last one. So if you haven't seen them, get down there. Go on. No, honestly, it was awesome. I haven't been to a concert, to a gig in well over a year, and bandana on, got my merch going. I'm loving it. I'm a happy boy now.
So, how many times did your missus tell you to either stop doing something or grow up?
Not that many. She's worse than me. Honestly, she pulled me into all of this. I was quite a late comer to the scene. This is the first time I've actually seen the Blackout, because when I finally got into them, I'd already had my eldest full-time job, working all the hours God sends. So I'm becoming a teenager again. I've actually got a few more lined up for the rest of the year. I got Dayseeker now and Beethoven. If you've never heard of them, have a listen. If you like your alternative music, you'll enjoy it.
See, this is the difference between you and me, Mark. So, who are you going to go see again for the rest of the year?
I got one for Dayseeker and one for Beethoven.
Right. And the rest of my year involves Jesus Christ Superstar, Wicked, and Hamilton.
I wouldn't mind Wicked. I do fancy going to see Wicked.
I don't do musical theatre. The missus loves it, obviously, but it just doesn't. Apart from The Lion King, I don't mind.
The best thing with The Lion King is when they come in at the start and you've got the big elephants and the rhinoceros walking down. Well, that's amazing. That is.
I mean, it's great. It's great songs. You can't knock the songs in The Lion King. But I'm seeing the Mannix and Suede in the summer in Manchester because they're doing their dual tour. So I'm seeing them. I'm looking forward to that. This will be the 5th or 6th time I've seen the Mannix. I always go with my dad, so looking forward to that.
Is this your first time without your dad, or are you going with your dad?
No, I'm going with my dad this time.
Again? Oof.
Yeah.
Good man.
Every time. He needs a chaperone.
Well, this week, I've got something this week that I've been doing that I'm going to kind of throw it in to almost like a little competition, but a bit of an incentive. So we're starting to do more stuff on YouTube and all that kind of malarkey, and our YouTube subscribers are growing, and so we're on about 160 odd, something like that. So I figured when we get to 200, I'm going to celebrate, right? And my celebration is, have you seen the Beyonce Texas dance thing? You haven't seen it, have you? You boys haven't? No.
I've heard of Beyonce. She was someone from Destiny's Child, wasn't she?
Yeah. So you can tell I live in a house with a lot of women. So
whoa! Hang a banger now.
Oh yeah, no, actually, yeah, you trump me on that quite comfortably. Anyway, I've got a teenage daughter that insists that I do TikTok dances with her. So I've got a video of me doing Beyonce's Texas. I think it's called Texas Hold'em Up in there. Anyway, when we reach 200 subscribers on YouTube, I will publish that video on YouTube. I will unedited. This is me doing That
Can we get the
dance.
bloopers as well?
There was one where I missed my first crossover right step, but other than that, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I know it means that my right leg went over the front. But yeah, so when we get to 200 YouTube subscribers, I will publish my Texas Hold'em up Beyonce dance just for the entertainment value.
And then when we get to 250, you're going to
I'll
do
take it down.
Put
Yeah,
a ring on
delete
it.
Then I'll save everybody the hassle of bringing it
I'm
down.
I'm in year, what is it now? Year 8 of an argument with a friend of mine about one of the backing dancers in the All the Single Ladies dance is a man. He insists that the one on the left is a man, and I think, what is he on about? But he will not. I'm like, you think they couldn't find 2 other women who could do the dance?
Could
He's
be a
like,
drag
no, it's a
queen, though.
man. Trust me.
Do you like
I don't think
pause it and stuff? Do you like pause it and see if you can have a look and zoom in and stuff? You
Okay,
must
where
do
are you
that.
going to zoom in to have a look at this?
Exactly.
It's one of the least less toxic arguments that we have, because the other argument that we have is Batman versus Iron Man, and that one just turns nasty every time.
Okay, can I just clarify something? This argument has been going on for 8 years, or it started when you were in year 8?
8 years.
8 years, all right.
Blimey, mate.
You're only just out of school, so I had to make sure.
Yeah. Christ alive, man. Iron Man versus Batman is a genuine argument. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
which is the best billionaire?
Superman wins every time. Right. So let's move on. So one thing that I just brought up before we start with rugby stuff, and we'll get on to rugby stuff in a minute. So something that I brought up on rap just now, and I'm going to get all pods to do it. So I want to do some charity stuff for Christmas, right? As a pod, as all of us, as the family of pods. Okay.
Christmas.
Yeah. Trust me, it needs thinking about. I've done this before and I left it too late. And Easter is about the right time to start planning Christmas charity stuff. So I was going to do an auction, but I want to know what people want in an auction. Yeah.
Scarlet's merch.
There isn't any. It's as rare as fuck. You would never find it anywhere. There are people on bloody, what's that thing on lunchtime on BBC? The bidding thing. They tried it on there. Can't find any. So not bargain. Is it bargain hunt?
That's something.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, like if we were going to do an auction, what would you want? Would it be like signed shirts? Would it be like if we could get
season ticket to your local club? Boom.
Yeah. So yeah, if it was like your local club signed t-shirt, signed shirt, yeah, or something like that, what is it that you would bid money for, or what would you put your money in a raffle for? Like, I'm thinking if it was like a Scarlet's Day where you could kind of have a tour of the stadium before and maybe meet the players or watch from the director's box. Do you know what I mean? What would make that day for you worth bidding for? And then I'm going to do it for Christmas. Because
How much does a Scarlet's win cost?
Oh, Christ.
not enough money, mate. Not enough money in the
7.5 mil?
Yeah.
7.5 mil. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. How much would it cost to have nobody in the physio room? I mean, these are the things that you want to have.
We'd have to go under.
we have Batman. Right. Anyway, let's start on the community game. So, Martin, give us your run. So there weren't many games last weekend, were they? But you want to have a rundown of the tables, and you want to have a rundown of the games for this weekend.
Yeah, so there were no senior games at all last week. There were a couple youth bowl and plate games. One we're not really bothered with, which was Caldecott Chepstow losing 8-19 at home to Aberystwyth. And one we are bothered with is in the plate quarter-final where Carmarthen Quins beat Morriston 20-0, so they through to the semi-finals. Happy days. If we go into the leagues and just have a quick look, we don't need to go too long because most of these are set out. So we got Llandovery and Carmarthen Quins in the Premiership. You know, Llandovery have already qualified for the playoffs. Carmarthen Quins, they're a little bit lonely down the bottom. They're just above Neath, 7 points between them, so they should be safe. And, when Costello and Johan Lloyd come back to the Scarlets, that should mean Charlie Titcombe goes to the Quins, and they win every game for the rest of the season, which will not be good news for Cardiff. In terms of the league, the top three are more or less set. I think Cardiff will make it, but there's a few games in there that I'm not quite sure on. And Pontypool and Pontypridd can both really fight their case to try and get for that fourth spot, but I do think the Rags will hold out, unfortunately. I always love seeing Cardiff fail to get anywhere, but that's just me.
What did Pontypool have their points deducted for?
Oh, I saw it somewhere, but I've completely forgotten by now. I'm really sorry, but
No, they didn't field a team, didn't they? Because they couldn't find any front rowers.
Oh, yeah, the front row one, wasn't it? Yeah, that was pathetic. That was, yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, we go down to Championship West, and obviously now at the top of the table, they should be, plain sailing now for the rest of the season. They do still have to go to Brecon on the 30th of March, but they can lose that and still go on to win this league. At least five promotion places, so there's quite a bit to play for here. Llangennech in third, they're pretty much sorted. It then comes down to that fourth and fifth spot. I think Bonamine are pretty much set with the games they've got left, but that fifth spot, Newcastle, Emlyn, and Crimich, they're both in that fight, so they both could still be fighting for promotion by the end of the season, which isn't far away now. So a few games to them, Newcastle, Emlyn, they get to travel to Bonamine on the 9th of March, and we have the return leg of Crimich, Newcastle, Emlyn on the 23rd. So by the end of March, we should have a really, really clear picture of who's going up and who's staying put. Ammanford are only other team in the league. They're just not in a place to challenge for promotion, but they are more or less best of the rest. They're 3 points in front of Travanos. So they're doing pretty well. Fair play to them. We go into One West, and this is another good league for us. So we got loads of teams in here. 3 teams being promoted, and we finally get into a league where there's some relegation. So we look at the bottom end of the table first. We got Whitland at the bottom on 12 points, and Fellinville 1 place above them on 12 points.
But they got 4 games in hand. Fellinville got 4 games in hand on Whitland, and Whitland are running out of games, aren't they? Really?
Yeah. But the key is Fellinville haven't won many games. They've got 2 to their record. One of them was against Whitland. The draw that both teams have was against each other. So I don't know where Fellinville are going to pick up any points too. So even though there's only 5 games left for Whitland and 9 games for Fellinville, it could still go either way. So there's still that intrigue there. If we go up to the top end of the table, Clellechley Wanderers, first place, 12 wins, 1 loss. I can't see anyone taking them. The league is theirs, and promotion obviously comes with that. Then it comes down to the next 2 places. Gosainan, which obviously not ours, with them got Buddyport, there's Gowerton and Kidwelly. Now, this is really exciting for me because there's a few games in there that I'm waiting to see what happens. Like Kidwelly have still got to play Gosainan twice, and Kidwelly can really throw a spanner in the works. They win both them games. It just opens everything up. As it stands, unfortunately, the 2 teams east of the Lougher are in prime position with, not expected points, with total points available. But it's going to be fun to see how this one runs out. Other teams in the league, we got Hendy, who are currently in 6th, and Aberystwyth in 8th. Now, we'll go on to 2 West. This is the league that has probably annoyed us the most this season. Just because we all thought Tenby would run away with it. And they've slipped up a few times, and it has just been heartbreaking for them and for us, because we spoke with Aled Waters, one of their coaches, a couple of times last season, and we were really invested in Tenby towards the back end of last season, where they just missed out on promotion. And now it's coming to the same time of season, and there's only 2 spots in Division 2 West going up this year, so it might end up being the same thing again. So it's really, really hard to get your head around if you're a local Tenby fan, or even if you're a far afield Tenby fan, as some of us are. So if we like we said, there's 2 promotion spots up for grabs, and there's 3 relegation places. So as I like, I'll start at the bottom. Army United, 3 points. They've won 1 game all season. I'm sorry, but you kind of get what you pay for, and winning 1 game, you're not going to get nowhere. To Christ, who are just above them, they're on 18 points, 3 wins. They do have 8 games left, so that is one thing they do have, but I can't see where any wins will come from. It's then this next place, which the relegation battle is going to be quite intense, because it's not just 10th and 9th. It's 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, and 5th. There's literally 6 points separating 5th through to 10th, and it's going to be a reckoning. There's too many games, too many intra fixtures that is going to decide who goes on or who goes up. But as is and Pontevedra are down in that final relegation place. They've won 5 games and drawn 2, which is really, really impressive for them. Coming off last season, where they only won 1 game and lost 21. So they've improved massively. It'd be a huge disappointment to see them go down. Not that anyone else deserves to go in their place. But, if Mumbles decide to lose the rest of their games all season, I'll be happy with that. So, middle teams then who are in there, Fishguard are on 30 points. You've got Nancaredig on 31, Milford Haven and Carmarthen Athletic on 32, and then Mumbles is the last team on 33. Into the promotion battle now. And as it stands, we've got St. Clair's in first on 67, Lacha in second on 53, Lampeter in third on 50, and Tenby in fourth on 48 points. Now, you're thinking with St. Clair's 67, Tenby 48. What's going on there? Tenby have got 3 games in hand over St. Clair's. And there's a few tasty fixtures that come here, and Lacha are involved in 3 of them. So hopefully, Lacha can lose all of them, and they can drop out. So the first one we got now is coming next week, not this weekend, the week after, the 9th of March. Lacha travel to St. Clair's. And, hopefully St. Clair's will do us a favour, and they'll just go, we'll just swap these flies away. I know that 1 win could be enough for, Tenby to push their way into that second spot. There's then Lampeter at home to Lacha on the 6th of April.
Can I just say and reiterate the point? No one likes Lacha.
No one likes Lacha.
No one likes Lacha. Like, there are people in Lacha that refuse to support Lacha because no one likes Lacha. Go on.
Yeah, so we got Lampeter against Lacha on the 6th of April, which it'll be a tasty one. We got St. Clair's at home to Lampeter on the 13th of April. And there's 1 game that hasn't been rearranged yet, which is Tenby at home to Lacha. So all 3 of Lacha's difficult games in this top 4 setting are all away. So I'm hoping, I'm more than hoping, I know that that's going to mean Lacha are going to start dropping down and someone else, either Lampeter or Tenby, are going to take our place. But the way I've been looking at these fixtures, and it's very much possible that St. Clair's, Lacha and Tenby, with the way results are going, all end up on the same amount of points come the end of the season. So, this is a proper top 4 battle. I think Lampeter are probably just a little bit too far outside. They could force themselves into it with a few results going for them, but I think it might be a stretch too far. So for me, it's St. Clair's, Lacha and Tenby, and I'm hoping it's going to be St. Clair's and Tenby that go up. So
because no one likes Lacha. Yeah.
No one likes Lacha.
No one likes Lacha.
No one likes Lacha. You can go east, you can go west, north, south. Well, you can go very, very south. You can go south to Cornwall or wherever it ends up in in Shetland, and they still hate them.
So, I was on holiday in Mexico, and I took a boat trip out to an island in the middle of the Caribbean with nobody else there, just one guy in a palm tree. And I said, "Who's your favorite team?" He said, "I don't know, but I fucking ain't Lacha." That's how bad that is.
That's how bad it is. So if anyone's been going on All Wales Sport lately, you'll notice they've put the promotion, the relegation places in. So I clicked on the 3WSB when I was looking to see who's challenging, who's not. So there's a top 4 with 1 promotion space who could all finish top, and then the rest again relegated. So you're either fighting for the title or you can get out of the league. And from what we can see, there's a new reshuffle. So 3 West A and 3 West B emerging, blah blah blah. But that's a story for another day. So at the bottom, we got Llanybydr on 4, Langham on 9, Pembroke Dockwins on 21, Pembroke on 26, Neyland on 29, and St David's on 32. None of them have really got much of an opportunity to force their way into that top 4 to escape relegation. So I'd imagine they're already reserved to going into this new 4 West or 3 West 2, or however they decide to magic it around this time. So if we look at the top 4 as it stands, we got Aberaeron in first on 61, Haverfordwest in second on 58, Cardigan in third on 57, and then with so many games in hand, they don't know what to do with themselves, Larne on 37 points.
Play the games is my suggestion.
It is. So
but they've got 5 games in hand on Cardigan. And
they do. There's so many games left to play for Larne, and the way I've looked at it, I've looked at all the fixtures that are scheduled. They've still got 4 games that are not scheduled, plus a possible cup semi-final and a final. So the absolute earliest they will finish their season, if they make those the cup semi and final, and they play every single Saturday, is the 25th of May. So
don't book any weddings, boys. Nobody's allowed to get married until August. End of.
They've got a long old season.
25th of May is the Champions Cup final.
It'd be a great day. It'd be Larne's Cup final, because by all rights they should.
Double header at the Tottenham Stadium. I'm hearing.
I'm up for that. I'll definitely go for that. I'll pay the price to see Larne.
To be honest, most of the people who are going to be there in the stadium for that game wouldn't know whether they were watching Larne or La Rochelle. To be honest, if you just told them, yeah, that's La Rochelle, that is, they'd go, okay, and then head to the bar like they normally do.
Yeah. So the interesting fixtures now in this league, we got Aberaeron against Larne on the 30th of March, Haverfordwest against Larne on the 6th of April, and there's also Cardigan against Aberaeron and Larne against Haverfordwest, which haven't been scheduled. So it's there's a lot up to play for, and we'll just see how it goes. I think Larne are going to do it, but a slip up here, slip up there, who knows what's going to happen. Right, we go down to the 3 West B now. This is the last one we look at because, you know me, I take ages with this stuff. But same again, promotion, 1 place, 6 teams getting relegated. So, that's not nice for anyone. So we start at the bottom, as we do. We've got Tregaron on 4 points, Binyar on 5, Llandibby on 15, Trimsaran, who I tipped for the league, stupidly, finished second last season. Yeah, they'll go on. They'll have another good season, like hell. They're on 22. Then Llangadog and Llandailo both on 29. Now, there is a relegation battle here. And Llandailo, Llangadog, and even Trimsaran are involved in it, with the team above them, which is Furness. And Furness are on 32 points. So it's going to be a fun one. A fun one for them, as I always say. I can't see which way this one is going to go. Trimsaran got a few games in hand. Llangadog and Llandailo got games in hand over Furness. So it's a tricky one to try and predict. I'd probably want to back Furness because, they are closer to me than the others. But, there we are.
Okay.
Yeah, my girls trained on the pitch for the Stradi Saucepan, so let's back Furness. Come on, they help the girls out. They deserve to stay in the league.
Yeah, good deeds get rewarded. So what's the fixtures like for this weekend, mate?
Okay, if we go into this weekend now, let me get onto my race page. Okay, there's loads because it's a full round. That national team with the prickly things. They're not playing. So obviously we start at the top as we do. Premiership, we've got Carmarthen Quins at home to Aberavon. Championship West, we got Crimmick at home to Tata Steel. Narberth at home to Ammanford, Trebanos at home to Newcastle Emlyn, and Llangennech travel to Ystadllefaera. 1 West, we got Aberystwyth at home to Felinfol, Hendy travelling to Gosainon, Kidwelly hosting Whitland, and Buryport travelling to Pencloud. 1 West, we got Bryn Aman at home to Birchgrove. Into 2 West, Lampeter at home to Carmarthen Athletic. Fishguard travel to Lucha. Ham United head down to Mumbles. St Clair's at home to Ponteberem. Tenby at home to Milford. And to Christ hosting Nant Garedig. 3 West A, we've got Cardigan at home to Pembroke. Pembroke Dock Quins at home to Neyland. And St David's at home to Llanybydr. Division 3 West B, we've got Binyar at home to Llandibby. Llangadog at home to Tregaron. New Dock Stars, way at home to Furness. That was the worst way or anything I've ever done in my life. I only done it for Who, and
it fell flat, didn't it?
Well, it's
like
because we lost the last game, so they got to win me back.
Got to win you back. Oh, Christ in hell, who would be his missus? All right. You got Trimsaran at home to Betters. Tumble at home to Kev Nathan. That's a big one to look out for in 3 West B. 5 West Central is Pennybank at home to Panderfunnan. And now it's into the cup games because it is Cup Week. So Premiership Cup, we got Llandovery at home to Ebbw Vale. No cup games in Championship Cup for some random reason, I don't know. We go into Division 1 Cup, the semi-finals. Llanelli Wanderers will play Bothwells down at Blackwood. Gleneath are playing Mountain Ash in Abercwmboi. Into Division 2, Aberavon Quins are playing Porthcawl in Tonmawr. Penarth are playing Llanarin in Bedwas. Into the Division 3 now, and this is a cup quarter-final. Larne are at home to Brinkethin, and the winners will go to the semi-final to face Blaenau. Division 4 Cup semi-final, Llanwt Major at home playing Tonna in Porthcawl. New Panteg against Newport Saracens in Nelson. Division 5, Cumturch are playing in Carmarthen against Dinas Powys. 7 Sisters playing Ruthin Second in Newtown. Down into the youth now, because there's still some games left over that, flood in, whatever reason. Youth Bowl, we've got Gowerton against Abercunnan. Youth Plate, we've got Bargoed against Ebbw Vale. Carmarthen Athletic is still due to play Ruthin, so we haven't had a fixture set for that, but we'll expect it to be sometime soon. In the Youth Cup, they've actually gone through to the next stage, and they're playing their semi-finals. So Llandeilo are playing Penlan Dunvant, and Tonmawr are playing Gosainon. And that is every single fixture you want to know about, and a lot of fixtures you don't want to know about. So that's just the way it goes. I'll tell you everything,
Is it Easter yet? Can I open my eggs?
Can I just take on one more point by you? I'm going to have a proper go at the WRU for the sake of the community game by you.
Go on then.
You've arranged cup semi-finals and quarter-finals on a fallow week of the Six Nations. So most of these teams haven't played one game in 5 weeks. Where is the sense in that? You want these teams firing at their best. What is the difference between playing a league game this week, which every other team is, and playing this cup semi-final, quarter-final, first week of April? So they've had 2 more games to get a bit of form on. You want it to be exciting. You want these teams to be at their best. You want to be at the best all the time, but you really want them at their best when it comes to the final knockout stages. So it's just...
People can complain and say they need to move Ireland versus Wales because someone's playing down in the community that day, so they need to reschedule it to avoid the clash.
They should. The national game, they've got the money. They can move it whenever they want. So the community game doesn't have that. They don't have that luxury. They got to play the game during daylight hours because otherwise they can't afford to run.
Also, if you schedule. We know what we like with fixture clashes in Wales these days and the WRU these days. So if you schedule the cup games for the same time as the Six Nations game, you're implying that no Gowerton players are going to get picked for Wales. And that's a slap in the face.
You really can't do that, especially when they're not even in the cup. So, shows how much Who has been listening to me over the last 5 minutes.
Cool. Right. Okay. Well, as we've touched on the national team, so we're very, very briefly going to have a quick roundup of the national side. So, Hugh, what were your thoughts about the game on Saturday?
I thought Wales. Well, I was messaging people before the game saying this could easily be 50, and it wasn't. So it was better than we were all expecting. I think this game was always about how close are Wales to Ireland, and the answer was closer than we thought. I thought we made Ireland work really hard. I think we made Ireland work harder than France did. But Wales's problems were with the ball. When we didn't have the ball, we were all right. When we had the ball, that's when we had problems. And so my magic number for this week is Sam Costello, 16 passes, 17 tackles. So if you look down at his hands during the game, it was more likely that he had an Irishman in them than the ball.
Okay, that could be taken a few different ways here. You need to be a bit more clear. But no, it's the same old story, I wondered if we had a decent 13 on the field and maybe a tidy crash ball 12 with a bit of handling skills. Someone like Eddie James. Things might have been different.
I know people are joking when they say about Eddie James. I think in a couple of seasons' time, he will be for the next World Cup. He's perfectly placed. He's the right age. He'll be coming through, and as long as he stays injury-free the season before the next World Cup, he will be Wales's 12 at the next World Cup. Because
so it'll be Archie Hughes, Sam Costello, Eddie James, Joe Roberts, probably Tom Rogers at fullback, and we'll have found two more wingers by then.
No, I'll say I thought Cam Winnett has been playing outstanding at fullback. He is, and my comment on. Right, but they keep asking me about George Norton, and I start talking about George Norton, and then they all shout me down because I'm talking about George North again. And the point is very, very simple. He isn't a 13. He hasn't played there. He doesn't know how to play there. He can't defend there. And if anyone wants to argue with that, go back and look at the video and see how many times he gets caught behind a ruck and he's not sure whether he's meant to be left or right, and he gets caught biting in, and he's waiting for somebody to tell him what to do. It's not fair on him. It's not fair on the players around him. It's confuse him. Put him on the wing where he knows what he's doing and let him do what he needs to do. When he was running with ball in hand, he was actually quite strong. There were a couple of times during that game where he took the ball going backwards. It's a scrappy ball is knocked on or whatever, and he's taking the ball going backwards, and he's made 10 yards, 15 yards, just pure grunt. Like an open side or a number 8, just pure grunt. Let the guy do what he does best. Give him a bit of space and let him run at small people. Give him the ball at a head of steam and let him run at big people. And the guy will make you 10, 15 yards. Don't ask him to defend a really experienced, comfortable, confident backline where he's standing there panicking, arms flailing. Do I go in? Do I go out? What do I do? The amount of space that he's leaving outside him is unreal. So stop being. We have to find somebody to play 13. George North has to play there because nobody else can play there. There are plenty of other people that can play there. Put George North on the wing. Let him come on a crash ball off 9, off 10, and cause damage. That's what he does best. And for the love of God, I can't understand why. It would be like putting me at 10 because I've played a couple of games and I've played lots of games. Yeah, but I played him at number 8. Why put me at 10 where I've got no idea what I'm doing at 10 just because I've played a game? It's a different position. He needs to play on the wing. Let him play on the wing and let's get the ball in his hands going forward. That's how you get the best out of George North. Go on, carry on.
12 is the interesting position at the moment. That's the one that everyone's talking about. Because I don't think Nick Tompkins has been bad.
No.
I just think
we need a big ball carrier. We need somebody to go 10 meters.
Because George North is the only player in the definitely of the back line, if not the whole team. You can give the ball and he will smash over the gain line. He's the only player. But the options at 12, you got Max Llewellyn, who is sat on the bench at Gloucester, so that hasn't gone very well, has it, Max? You got Britton Bradley, who's sat at the bench at Harlequins, although he's probably going to get more game time now because Esther Hazen's off to the Sharks. You got Keith from Neath. Moving on. You got Eddie James, who's only just literally played 5 games. So, he won't be ready until at least week after next. And who else you got? Johnny Williams.
Yeah, and that's the bit. I think if Johnny Williams is fit, he probably would be in there. It's simply because he gives you go forward. And for all his other faults and his inability to stay injury free, he'd give you go forward. And that's what we need, right? None of the forwards are doing it. It's not happening in the forwards. And that's where Ireland do it. Ireland can put who they want in the backs because it's the forwards that give them those 10 meters, 5 meters, 5 meters, 7 meters, 10 meters. And all of a sudden you've gone 40 meters up the pitch. Your backs can do what they want. They can fanny around with their hair. They can do ponytails. They can do their makeup and still score in the corner, because they've got that platform.
Well, to be fair, Johnny Williams is actually, he's a part of Team Wales because if you look at his suspension record, he is missing these games. So he must be in Team Wales because he's missing Team Wales games. I'm still pretty annoyed at that. Have you seen the Ray Lee law?
Yeah.
He's got a game in the Welsh Premiership, a semi-pro game for a club he's never played for as one of his suspension games. Where the fuck did they come up with that?
Same place we got it for Lozana, mate. It's we all do it, and it's ridiculous. It's
disgusting. And I called it out recently with Johnny Williams. I'll say the same again. It's absolutely fucking bullshit. You're gonna suspend someone, do it properly.
Yeah, punish them. Yeah. Okay. Anything else from the Wales game? Anything that we want to particularly discuss?
It was nice to see other people sticking up for Sam Costello, saying that the classic Welsh thing, the pack's getting monsters in hard reverse in the scrum time must be the 10's fault, kind of thing. He actually, if you look at, I'm going to post this tomorrow, if you look at the territory maps and possession maps, the England game versus the Ireland game. In the England game, we played mostly around halfway, if not in our half. And in the Ireland game, we mostly played in their half, although 22. That's Sam Costello. That's having a proper fly half at fly half. And his territory gains per kick were about 10 meters more than Johan Lloyd's. So it just kind of shows it.
When he had the ball for 25% of the game. That's where the issue is. If you can gain as much territory as you want, but if you've only got if they've got the ball 3 times as long as you've got it, they're going to do more with it.
The other thing is, Kieran Hardy's not really doing anything off the bench, is he?
I say he did break up the game. He did break it. What he is good at is very quick tap and goes. And when he does a quick tap and go,
I think I could do a tap and go quickly.
You'd be surprised how few people do. And when he does it, go and have a look at the amount of tries that he scored off tap and goes. And you've got,
it's a very niche skill.
But it's effective because their forwards they're not expecting it. Yeah, they're penalty. All right, bang, fuck, what happened there? And he's gone. Yeah. And you're on the front foot, and you're on the front foot 5 meters ahead of where their back row are. Yeah. And we did that twice. Thomas Williams did it once, and Kieran Hardy did it once. And it instantly puts you way beyond them. And what it does as well is it makes them really conscious about giving away penalties. And when they do give away a penalty, they don't sit back and relax. They cannot switch off, and it's draining. It's draining for them. And if we were a bit more switched on, he'd have somebody with him that when he's gone past the first 2 men, he could offload to, rather than getting dicked on the floor and turning the ball over. That's the difference.
So to put into context, how niche a skill this tap and go is, you'll only see a 9 or a 10 ever tap and go with the ball in his hand. You look at the 5 meter, tap and goes. We see the ball is always on the floor. To kick that ball and tap and go going forward at pace, it is a massive skill. and it's surprising how hard it can be to do. But when it's done right, like you said, that 10-meter advantage line, for the defensive line, it's a lot more than 10 meters, because you've already gone past one or two, like you said, and then that third man is thinking, hang on, I'm back far enough for you, and bang, you've given the penalty away. So
it is dynamite when it works, but we're not creating the penalties. We're not switched on enough.
I think Gatland's blind spot has always been attack. We've never had a good attack whenever we've been coached by Gatland's. Has anyone figured out what rugby chaos is yet? But he needs to change, because we're this whole pick and go and wearing them down and tiring them out thing. Teams are all doing 6-2 splits on the bench now, and that doesn't work anymore. They just bring on a fresh pack on 50 minutes, and then that tactic doesn't work. So Gatland needs to either get some fresh ideas or bring in a new attack coach who's got fresh ideas and give that person the autonomy to say, look, come up with an attack that's going to work for us, because bashing down the door with their sledgehammer isn't going to work anymore. So we need to come up with, deception and detail and little moves and things. But all Welsh teams are the same. Wales, 4 regions, the under-20s, everything, all the same. There's no detail in attack. It's all, you have the ball, run it in, see what happens. Okay, now you have the ball, run it in, see what happens. All teams are the same. It's frustrating.
Well, that's the problem, and you don't even need to go into all this experience detail. We need you standing here for this play, you for that. You can have everyone in the same position and have multiple plays going off, depending on what the defense do. First man bites in, you do this. Second man bites in. There's so many alternatives that you can have. There was a play, I think, in Super Rugby a couple ago. I think Bowden Barrett, when he's at the Blues this first season, and they done the exact same setup, and they played it 3 or 4 times in the same game, and it worked every time. And a different defender bit in on each occasion, and they just done it with ease. And I know that is New Zealand. You might say, "Oh, they better." They're humans. They're people. They're not supernatural. They don't have,
But were they playing against Australians?
No, I think it was against the Highlanders. But I know that I don't know that doesn't say much. But the Highlanders right now look a bit better because they got a start 10.
Well, yeah, former Scarlet Reece Patchell going in instantly the best player in the whole of Super Rugby. Not surprised to us, obviously. If you're listening, Patch, come on the pod, please.
Yeah, please. So when you talk about doing like trick moves and all of that kind of stuff, have you seen on YouTube and social media? It was a youth team that did. So it was a lineup, yeah, and it's in the opposition 20 team. And the scrum half shouts something, and they all turn to look at the scrum half, and then he gets his hands out in like a pistol thing and starts pretending to shoot them like this. And as he's pretending to shoot them, they all fall down, and there's one guy left at the front, so there's a hooker and the front guy, and the opposition go, "What the fuck was that?" And as they turn around to look at each other, he pops into the guy at the front and he legs it from the 22 and scores. And you're sitting there and you're like, genius. It's just, I don't think it would work at international level, but as a video of how to think differently on the pitch, it's just brilliant. I loved it.
Speaking of videos, I've just been so we were just talking before we came on air that rap TikTok has gone a bit crazy this week. So I was just having a look at on my video, because my video was way behind Lee's and still is. But it was on 200 views like yesterday, and now it's on 1,500. So I'm like, what's changed? So it's got a load of comments. So I was just having to read the comments earlier, and an Irish chap and a Welsh chap have gotten into a bit of an argument, and that's why there's so many comments on it.
Excellent.
So the Irish chap says ref was shocking against Ireland. Not sure how he's got to that. And then the guy who's got a username that might not be the most PC, so I won't read it out.
Yeah.
Has replied saying no, he hasn't. And then the Irish guy comes back and says, yes, the ref said that your advantage had run out. That's not a thing. And it's like, no, that's definitely a thing. Yeah, but anyway, so this goes back and forth for a few comments, and then someone out of nowhere, someone completely out of nowhere, who wasn't even involved in the original argument, comes back and says, have you been a bleep bleep all your life, or was it a recent blow to the head? All capital letters. And that's it. That's the whole.
Uh,
That's the whole post.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. I love the fact that it was like I I did my recording, sent it to you, and you put it up there, and I just ignored it because like normally it gets like 300-400 views or whatever. And then I checked it on the Sunday morning. On Sunday morning, it was like 3,500, and I messaged you. I messaged, what, what's happened? What's gone on? I'm scared. I don't want to look at it in case somebody's like slagging me off and putting stuff on there, and it's scary stuff. Social media, boys. It's
Yeah.
even when it's going well, you're a bit scared about why is it going well.
Yeah, you do think when you have a big video and it hits, you're like, have I done something wrong? Because sometimes because the thing about content creation is that like views compared to work, there's no
There's no correlation.
link. So
Yeah.
something you can spend weeks on does nothing, and something that you can spend 5 minutes on goes crazy. So sometimes if you like literally, as you say, if you post something and forget about it and then come back to it and it's got thousands of views, you're panicking a bit. You're like, what have I done?
Well, was there something dodgy in the background that's and somebody's seen it and put it on a post in it? Yeah. Anyway, let's talk before we talk Scarlets and the trip to Connacht. Let's talk about action at the park this weekend, which is the Thunder doubleheader. So, Hugh, you're the man in the know on this.
So it's the last round of the Celtic Challenge. It's the last round of the weird playoff doubleheader thing. So they had a doubleheader up in Scotland for the first round. This is a 3-leg playoff. So they've done that. Now they've done just this week, just gone, a doubleheader in Ireland. So there was a game at the Kingspan, I think.
Yep.
If not 2. And Wolfhounds have been crowned champions. We're never in doubt. I don't think so. So now it's the last round. So the last round is a double header at Parky Scarlets. So it's Edinburgh versus Clovers. Clovers is an Irish team.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be good. That will be a high quality game. They're both 2 good teams. So I think that's on first. And then second is the Welsh Derby again, which is Thunder versus Lightning. And yeah, looking forward to it. It should be, given that we got 700, I think, for the last game that we played at the park. I think it's doable to get over 1,000 for this one, and that would be fantastic. Yeah, looking forward to it. Gwalia Lightning are very good, so it is a big challenge for our girls. But yeah, but backing them. They managed to get a bit of confidence. They did a good job on Glasgow at home, and then they did another job on them away. And then I think we got a bit unlucky in a couple of games. And I think the fixture list kind of was a bit unkind to us as well. So looking forward to it, really. Like I say, it should be a good game. And remember, it will be on Rugby Pass TV for anybody who can't be there in person. But it should be a good day out either way. Go on, Matt.
Yeah. And I wanted to add another thing about this weird playoff system. Now, obviously, it's top 3 and bottom 3 split into these playoffs. And I thought that the table was like sort of going to be split down the middle, top 3 would stay up there and the bottom 3 would stay where they are. But no, Gwalia are now locked in 4th place. Not 4th place, 3rd place. So they've jumped up. So it just beggars belief how they thought this was actually going to work in a favourable way. I mean, maybe a little knockout style would have been better. But
all development tournaments are the same. Like they got this Six Nations festival thing going on with like under 18s and things, and that doesn't make any sense either.
It's just 3 games in like 6 days. That's gonna be
and there's 8 teams. So it's the Six Nations festival. There's 8 teams in it because rugby, and they all play 3 games each. Like, it's just a rugby thing at the moment. It just makes no sense.
My head is hurting, boys. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It is a real shame they didn't jump on the Rugby Europe Championship bandwagon. The 2 groups of 4 that they've got 3 games each and having a finals day, which wouldn't have been much extra work. But I want to add in this festival the stinginess of the WRU and how all they care about is money. The under 18s festival is in Italy. Obviously, 3 match days for everyone. Every stadium, absolutely free. Come in, enjoy, come watch. And that's the boys. Not men's yet, boys. The girls, under 18s, is up North Wales. Tickets start from a tenner.
Really?
Yeah. To watch under 18 nationals. And they're supposed to be, spreading the love of the game, hyping it up. How are you going to hype it up if you're charging to watch under 18s? These are supposed to be the pinnacle of the game. You want people to come in. You're putting a massive barrier in place. You're paying that to go watch Brithan or Gwalia, teams that only existed a few months ago. There just doesn't seem to be any sense. Unless they can make money, they don't care.
I thought the general accepted kind of entrance fee for under 18s was £3. Yeah.
My fingers are up if no one's watching on YouTube.
Yeah, because you're stuffing your face. Yeah.
Gummy worm. Oh, sorry. Jelly snakes. I do have
Jelly
a cream egg as well, in case you're wondering.
Just
and I've been
keep the
sipping
energy up.
And I've been sipping a can of Dr. Pepper. No product placement at all.
Matt wonders why he doesn't sleep very well. It's 9 o'clock at time recording.
Right, let's move on to Scarlett's trip to Connacht. So first of all, we're going to Connacht and the weather is going to be absolutely atrocious. I don't even need to check the weather app. It's Connacht. It's going to be pissing down, blowing a gale. There'll be snow at halftime. There'll be a hailstorm with 5 minutes to go. There'll be thunder and lightning 5 minutes into game, and then there'll be sunshine, and you'll have to put bloody factor 50 on about 10 minutes into the second half. Fucking hate.
I'll go though, because Galway's nice.
Go on then, Hugh. What have you got on Connacht, mate?
So, URC make all their stats very accessible. So that's a good thing about the URC. Well done to them. So I've been able to get a bit of a crib sheet on Connacht. So here goes. So their defense is ranked the second best in the URC, and that's with them already having toured South Africa. So that's good. They actually won a game down in South Africa. They beat the Sharks, I believe. They don't kick very much. So they're ranked 11th for kicking in the URC in total. Well, we're ranked 16th, so that's not much of an advantage for us. So the bottom of the log for kicks retained, and the 12th for kicks from hands. But like I said, we kick even less than them. When they do kick, they kick off 10 more than they kick off 9. So discipline, they're very, very disciplined. They're ranked second for discipline in the league. So 0 red cards so far this season. Third fewest pens and third fewest scrum pens. Again, we're bottom. So scrums and discipline and things, not something we're likely to get an advantage over them with. They've got the third most, this lineouts is a bit weird, third most lineouts lost, but also the most lineout steals. So basically on their own lineout, they're a liability, but on an opposition lineout, they're probably a bit more confident. And that's maybe why they're... Go on, Mark, sorry.
So we need Fafita on form for this game, and we should be
yes, fine. Basically. So they favour the front of the line out. Maybe that shows the confidence that they've got in that. What else have we got? So in terms of home form, they're ranked right bang in the middle for home form. But remember that they play the other Irish provinces, so they're the weakest team in Ireland. So they play Leinster and Munster.
Are they the weakest team in Ireland?
Ulster's a bit shit at the minute.
Cheapest.
Cheapest, yeah.
So 14 tries scored, 14 conceded in their 5 home games so far. Like I said, they play the other Irish provinces. Their average score at home is 27-21. But in terms of their actual attack, so they're quite middling. So they're quite middling for all of the main attacking stats, like defenders, beaten, line breaks, blah, blah, blah. They carry a lot. So they're the 4th most carries in the URC, but they've got the worst gain line success in the whole league. So this is quite an Irish thing. Irish teams tend to carry a lot and not necessarily make it over the gain line, apart from Leinster, who carry the most and also get over the gain line the most, because bloody Leinster. They like to do a lot of short passes. Their top try scorer is a prop, Peter Dooley. I'll have to tell Mark that again.
Isn't he the heaviest man in the URC?
Do
I remember him as the heaviest man?
In Tlaba Kanye, who plays for the Lions, is 153 kilos, so he's got to be heavier than that. Sorry,
Oh,
for audio listeners, Mark's just come back. Mark, Connacht's top try scorer is a prop called Peter Dooley.
Oh yeah, come on, man. Nah.
And JJ Hanrahan is the league's most accurate goal kicker. So they're going to take the three a lot. And then their key players to watch out for are Castle Ford at 12 and Kilgallen at fullback. They're the ones who sort of make all the ball carrying and line breaks and things. They're a bit like us in that they play with the ball a lot, but they don't much care for territory. So it's kind of similar to us in that sense. So where can we target them? I think their line out. I think it's a bit worrying, a bit like the Munster game, because what Munster did to us, they just carried and carried and carried until we were knackered and couldn't walk anymore, and then they just scored tries whenever they wanted. So Connacht might try and do the same thing, but hopefully a bit less effectively. A few less South African internationals in their team, you know.
I think it's, if we put in a 60-minute performance like we did in our last game, against Munster, if we can learn from those 60 minutes and kind of take the points when it's there, slow the game down when we need to, speed it up when we need to, those kind of things, I think we're in with a shout. I think it's a really tough place to go now with the plastic pitch and all that kind of stuff. It has made it a really tough place to go. But I also think that I don't care about the result. What I want to see is, are we starting to defend? We've made some coaching change rounds. Are those coaching change rounds having some effect? And for the love of God, can we please start defending tight? If we can work out how to stop people attacking around the side of a ruck, half of the tries that we give away have gone, and we're in the game. So I think our attack has actually been not bad. It's been patchy, but when it's worked really, really well. I know you want to kick the ball more, Hugh, but I'm quite happy if that's the style of play that we're going to develop, about we're going to run everything, then let's perfect that style of play, and let's go with that style of play and work out who do we need, who needs to do what, and how do we make this style of play work. Let's not just sit there and go, I hope if we keep playing it, we'll all start to work out that this is a good thing. We need to be aggressive about how we make that style of play work, and we need to be clinical. And that's the bit. There are too many opportunities where we've developed a 3-man overlap where we're running from our own 22 and we've knocked the ball on, or something stupid like that, or we sucked in all of the back three and then we kick the ball straight into the outside half hands instead of putting it with the space. It's stupid stuff like that we've been doing that we need to aggressively get rid of. So that's what I'm looking for in this game. Are we improving in defence? And
in terms of defence, we all saw an improvement in that Munster game, and apparently Jared Vane only had 3 days plus a captain's run to get that defence in shape. Whether that's fact or not, that's what we've been told. But we know, Jared has been a success as a defence coach everywhere he's gone. Ulster's defence was brilliant for years. I can't remember the name of the French team was at, but he was brilliant there again. And so we know what he can do, and he's had a few more weeks with this team. So hopefully, it'll be another step up. And, maybe we've had some words with our conditioning team about, maybe thinking about, get these boys ready for 80-minute performances, not 60. And that'll be another step forward, because that was an issue. Like we spoke last week, after the Munster game, and we spoke about it early in the season about a new conditioning coach, about what the old Ulster fans felt about him. So that's the main thing I want. I just want the boys to be on the field for 80 minutes and actually be able to perform for 80 minutes. That's probably the most important. And maybe a few tinkers in selection. We mentioned we wanted him to start at 10. I wanted him to start at 10.
Well, he actually might, because as we have seen, Dwayne doesn't seem to much be fussed about away games.
No. I mean, he did it to him in Leinster, but at least this time, if it happens, he can't chop and change that many players because we don't have that many players available.
No, it's not that many there, is it?
No. And one thing I want to see this week that's different is tactical substitutions, not bloody for the sake of it. Bring in Jared Taylor off a 40-minute. Why? There was no tactical benefit in bringing him off. No tactical benefit in bringing Sam Lowsey off. There was half of the substitutions that were made absolutely no sense for the timing. And, I wouldn't be bothered. I know we've spoken about it just now as well, about a 6-2 bench. I wouldn't be bothered if we went for a 6-2 bench. Had, Evan Jones and Ewan Nicholas, because they could cover every position between them. I know Ewan's not exactly a specialist with 10, but he has got some experience there. So, our forwards are where we need the game. Like you said, we need to defend in tight better. 6 forwards on the bench might help. It also help not having to send someone like Ben Williams, who's improved massively throughout the season, back down to the Quins, where if he gets used to that standard again, it's going to be a bigger step up when he comes back.
That is a.
I'd go with that. I'd go with what I've just said about them going to try and carry us to death. 6-2 split makes sense, but I'm a big fan of the 6-2 split anyway. I kind of don't see the point in a 5-3 anymore.
I'm a big fan of make the fuckers stay on for 80 and have no bench. And come on, back in my day, we used to be able to do in my day, we had to fake an injury in order to get a substitution.
We had to take a blood pill.
I do genuinely remember a game where it was before substitutions were introduced, and it was a school game, so it was like under 12, under 13, or something like that, and it started hailing, and our school pitch was like as far away from the changing rooms. It was like a 5-10 minute walk back down to the changing rooms. It was in the middle of a load of pitches. It was completely exposed. It was hailing, and then there was like a hail shower, and it stopped, and you could see the boys like, oh no, I don't want this. And then it started hailing again, and about 4 of the backs went down with an injury. You're like, you fannies, you absolute. I can't. I've hurt my, what is it? My knee. Yeah, I've hurt my knee. Yeah, I can't carry on. It was ridiculous. 4 of our backs went off in the middle of a hailstorm. It's back in the good old days, they were, boys.
Back in the good old days when Churchill was PM.
Fuck off, man. It's
it was there for the take, and I had to.
No. Anyway, so what do we need to do against Connacht to win? That's
score more points.
There is that. How do we score more points than Connacht? Okay, 2 points of that. How do we stop Connacht scoring more points than us, and how do we make sure that we score more points than them? So who wants to go with defence?
Don't let them cross our line, and don't give them penalties.
You two could be on bloody Scrum 5 with this level of analysis. You know that, couldn't you? Yeah. I'd give up.
We saw against Cardiff, they didn't actually offer that much in attack. So hopefully, they're going to offer the same sort of level against us. And if we do fall out for the full 80, the defence we saw against Munster would be more than good enough to, last the full game over there.
So I think we need to go with something similar to a blitz defence from the start, and just put massive amount of pressure on 10 and 12 and force them into doing stuff that they're not comfortable with. Put them on the back foot. Just be openly aggressive. Get in their faces. Start giving them some of this. Start giving them the nudge. Start giving them a little bit of a stamp on the foot and all of that kind of stuff. Get in their face. Get in their ribs. And put them off their game early. Yeah, get nasty. We're not nasty enough. Since we lost Jake Ball, there's nobody there that's willing to strangle somebody in the middle of the pitch for calling him ginger. You know, we need a bit of nastiness in that pack to really make people fear what we're going to do, and that's where we need to be. That's why I think that Jared Taylor. I thought Plumtree had a little bit of it about him, and I think that Jared Taylor's got a little bit about him as well, where he's just.
We're still on for my prediction of Tane Plumtree coming back from Wales, getting immediately injured, coming back from injury, and getting sent off in his first game. That is still very much on the cards.
Yeah, absolutely, and I would expect nothing less, because there'd be a fire in his eyes that just goes, I'm going to have someone's having it. I've got a lot of pent up anger. Someone's having it, So, but I think we do. I think we're too nice. We let people get away with stuff, and we don't referee the game ourselves well enough. We don't inform the opposition where the offside line is, and we don't encourage them to go back past the offside line in a nice, friendly, encouraging way. And that's what we need to do from now on.
The idea of a blitz defense from the off, it would probably suit us at the minute, because we've got a 9 with the pace and the tackling ability and tenaciousness to cover anything that comes through. So, if we have Dinky on, which I'm probably expecting it, because, he went with Dinky for his 150th in the last game. He's probably going to want to keep it the same. But it's Peel, so who knows? But we know Dinky can tackle as well. So we've got a good halfback pairing who can cover that in behind should that blitz defense get broken in that first line. So why not? What can we lose? We've already lost 300 games this season, almost 301. Let's try something.
I can honestly say I've got no idea what team is going to get picked. I haven't got a clue.
But hopefully now, with a bit of the change around in the coaching team, a bit more stability, that coaching team will know who's staying and who's going next year, and we should be in a position where we can start building. And that's
on that note, we've had our first renewal of the season.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened this week.
Yeah, Tom Rogers. And
sorry, our social media team was like, everyone else is doing funny videos. We should do a funny video. What's funny? Oh, he likes coffee. That's funny. Let's film him getting a coffee.
In the Scarlet's coffee lounge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not fussed on
There's
whether
something quirky about you, Tom. I like it. I like a cuppa. But, brilliant.
Well, the video, it was all right, but, it's supposed to keep it a secret throughout the whole thing. And you see the TR on his shirt pretty early on. And you're like, oh, come on, we know who it is, man. Come on, boys. No, I like Tom. If you spoke to me about a year and a half ago, I would have said he's destined for great things, like really great things. He hasn't quite kicked on as much as I would have expected him to. Like, I really would have anticipated him being the 15 in this Wales team right now. I know he's injured and whatnot, but he hasn't done anything to show that he deserves that spot.
I don't think he's even first choice 15 at Scarlets, mate.
No, but that's what I mean. I
don't know who is.
Whoever gets it first, I think. That seems to be the way it goes.
They all put a shirt on the halfway line, and they all start at a different corner. And when he pops the balloon, everyone gets to go.
That's it. That's got to be the way selection works. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Okay, so let's get some predictions then. Let's wrap up with some predictions. So Hugh, let's have your prediction for Scarlets v Connacht v Scarlets on this weekend.
29-27 to the Scarlets.
So 2-point win. Okay, cool. Martin?
Ooh, this is a tough one. No, I think we're gonna get a win. Obviously, I have only been right twice this season with my predictions, but I know this one
because you've only won twice.
Exactly, yeah.
No, I'll go. Let's go. 26-15 Scarlets. Come on, I feel happy because Italy's the last game for Wales, so Joe Roberts is definitely coming back to us.
Okay. So I predicted a Connacht win on Wrap. Yeah, I just
Traitor.
no, I just think
Leave.
there's
Can I kick him out?
I just think that there's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed and perfected. So I think on a good day it's probably a draw, but I think I said Connacht by 5, so I'm gonna go 10-5. I think as long as I can see something in defence, something working in defence, and we're not leaking stuff around the corners of rucks and in tight, I'll be happy. So yeah, I'm gonna go 10-5 to Connacht, and referee struck by lightning at half time and had to change him, and then yeah, a bald-headed referee comes on and gets sunburn and second-degree burns in the second half. Something
Do we know who the
stupid
ref
like
is yet?
No, Thursday is when they come out, I think. So
I'll wait for my email. I'll notify you.
right, okay. So yeah, I mean, I always predict the Scarlets win. I just can't see it this
Because you're a
week.
traitor. I can see it in you. It's because they've said they're the same club as Llanelli RFC. You've wavered.
Oh, let's not
Oh
get into
can
that.
see it now.
shit! I'm gonna have to edit that bit now, aren't I? Oh, here we go. Right. Anyway, so let's not forget 200 YouTube subscribers, and I will put my my Beyonce dance on our YouTube channel. And can I have your ideas for charity auctions? What would you like us to auction off for charity, or do something charity-wise for Christmas? Because time's to give it back. So
Lee will do a naked run around the Pembrokeshire coast
no, I've already
in November.
I said that on the rap thing. My only thing will be that nobody does
Budgie
anything.
smugglers then.
Nobody does anything naked, because I've got
Budgie
a
smugglers,
mate.
you're fine.
I've got my mate Carwin that started the rap podcast with me. That's the first thing that will come to his head. We're doing something for charity. That means we're doing it naked.
Naked.
Or we're getting naked. There'll be nakedness in
Oh,
this.
full Monty tribute. Happy days.
Oh, it's one of those things that I can guarantee Carwin is sitting there going like, "What do you mean I can't do it naked? Why won't you do it naked? Go on, I'll pay you to do it naked." It's just the way he is.
Oh, I've got one for Carwin. He can do. He can tuck like a drag queen does. If you've ever watched
Steady
RuPaul's
on,
Drag
boys.
Race, you'll know what I mean. He can do it naked then.
I think someone should pay all three of us to go to a Scarlets game in Mankinis. That's what I was
saying.
Have to pay a lot of fucking money.
Exactly. That's a big earner. That
And it's not going to charity.
Well, you two say you need money for it. There I am. I haven't got my size.
I've got one for you, Matt.
One for
Anyway, right, let's wrap that one up there then, gents. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Enjoy your rugby this weekend. We'll come back, we'll do this all again next weekend. Smiles and happy faces all around. Enjoy it, boys. All the best. Ta-da.
Ta-ra, boys. Have fun.
Thank you for listening to the Scarlet's Fever podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please subscribe, rate and review wherever you listen to us, as it really helps us spread the word. You can find us on all the usual social media channels, or email us on welshregionalrugbypod@gmail.com. And remember, whatever the question, rugby is always the answer.
Sports Social Podcast Network.